Everybody, thank you for joining us. Today is the day. The total eclipse of the sun happens just a couple hours from now. Several parts of our viewing area are in the path of totality, but will we be able to see it? We're going to go straight to meteorologist Eric Gage. He's live in Boonville at the Boonville and Ida County Fairgrounds. We hope with some answers. Eric.
Yes, good afternoon, Steve. I am live adjacent to the fairgrounds. We're actually at the Adirondack Central School where festivities are getting underway right now. People are starting to show up. The sun, even though it's faded, is shining right now. Let's hope those clouds do hold off for just a few hours. The temperatures feel nice too. It's currently in the upper 50s, so overall it's a beautiful day. You see me, I'm wearing a t-shirt right now, looking fantastic weather. And before we get to that, I want to bring in the woman who makes this all happen here at the Adirondack Central School. This is Christy McGrath, who is the superintendent. And Christy, can you tell us about what this event is, and is it free to the public and everything?
Sure. We decided here in the Boonville area to plan an eclipse extravaganza. This event is open to anyone in the public. It is free of charge. We had a committee of about 20 people that have been planning this for the last couple of months, and we basically have face painting, food trucks, large games, t-shirts for sale, music happening. The moose will be here. So we just basically wanted to celebrate this special occasion and invite anyone in the public who would like to come and join us.
Yes, and it looks fantastic here. People are showing up right now, and before we get anything right now, I wanted to mention too, we have some food trucks here, and they brought us over some lemonade, and I think it was called the Solar Eclipse Lemonade, and it tastes fantastic. So if you want some lemonade, if you want some festivities or just hanging out before the eclipse begins, again, come up to us here at the Adirondack High School in Boonville, short drive up from Utica, and again, we're going to be here for the entire totality of the eclipse, so join first me, then Chief Meteorologist Bill Cardis as we head into the totality time. We'll talk about the timing, the forecast, how the clouds are looking in that full forecast straight ahead. For now, I'll send it back to you in the studio, Steve.
All right, Eric Gage reporting from Boonville. Big festivities going on in that part of the North Country. Our live team coverage continues now as we head north to Old Forge, and that is where we find News Channel 2's Ben Kinney. He's at the Hildebrand Recreation Center off of North Street, where hundreds are expected to view the eclipse. Ben, what's the situation like up there?
Hey, good afternoon, Steve. Yeah, a lot of people already piling in here at the Hildebrand Recreation Center. We have stuff going on inside and outside, including some telescopes being set up. This is Professor Brandon Fleming from Utica University. What are you setting up? These telescopes look quite different from the ones you're used to seeing.
Right, actually, so there's different types of telescopes. We have what's called a refractor telescope. That's the one with a lens. You can look in the eye on the eyepiece at the end. But there's one that's going to be a projection. There's one that's you can actually see, this is one you can just put your cell phone up to this and it takes images very easily. There's even some automatic tracking ones, so each telescope does a different function.
Wow, and these take a lot of work to set up, obviously. This isn't like your simple telescope that you get at Target or Hobby Lobby.
No, actually, a lot of it is, especially the more complex it looks, the easier it is almost to operate because it does a lot of the thinking for you. It looks like it's a lot of equipment, but the setup, I'm just doing 5 setups, that's why it looks like that. But telescopes come a long way, very accessible, very easy to set up for anyone to take their own images.
Now, up here in Old Forge, we're expected to have how long for totality? 3 minutes, right?
We're looking at just under 3 minutes, and that's because if you think about the shadow as a circle, we're just on the edge. We're not toward the very edge, but we're toward the edge of that circle, and so there's going to be less time in the shadow. 3 minutes is still pretty good because the maximum up here is just about 4. So.
Wow, and the hope right now is that the clouds do hold off, as Eric just mentioned. Fingers crossed right now he's down in Boonville, but the hope is the clouds hold off. You know, these high-level clouds, are they going to affect much in terms of obscuring the sun?
You'll notice the difference with the high-level clouds. It's nothing like we had a couple days ago. And even then, sometimes it's been said that when during an eclipse, when the sun is blocked out, that actually the temperature change can almost lighten up those thin upper clouds a little bit. But either way, with a telescope, with something like this, you're still going to be able to see the image. I mean, it will hardly have an effect if it stays like this.
Alrighty. Well, that's Professor Brandon Fleming from Utica University, a physics professor. As we continue to get set up, a lot of fun events going on. So if you're in the area or headed up to Old Forge, the Hildebrand Recreation Center on North Street is definitely the place to be. For now, we're going to send it back to the newsroom. Steve, back to you.
All right, Ben, not sure if you can still hear me, but what was like the traffic like going up Route 28? How was it on your way up?
Surprisingly, Steve, it wasn't that bad. Coming through Otter Lake, we started to see a few more cars. Once we got up to Old Forge, though, it was a little more crowded. I just want to note that I was seeing from a few of my friends back home the Adirondack Northway in Lake George going up towards the high peaks of the Adirondacks. Past Lake George, exit 22, completely standstill right now, complete bumper-to-bumper traffic, and they have multiple accidents also right now, so a lot of traffic as you head further east, which is what a lot of folks expected with the latest weather forecasts also.
All right, sounds good, Ben. Thank you for that, and we'll check in with you again at the bottom of the hour. Well, we are not the only ones hyped up about this. Weather permitting, millions of people in Mexico, 15 U.S. states, and eastern Canada will have the chance to see the moon slip between the Earth and the sun, temporarily blocking the sun's light. NBC's Jay Gray continues our team coverage from Junction, Texas.
Well, the countdown is on. We're just a few hours away now from the total eclipse here in the Texas Hill Country in Junction, Texas. But there's some concern. As the sun came up here this morning, the clouds started to move in. And take a look right now. You can see spotty but thick, and they've been building, unfortunately. Now, we've looked at the forecast, and there's a good chance this could all break just about the same time the eclipse is scheduled to start here. 12:14 Central Time would be the beginning of the partial eclipse. Then at 1:32, you'd move into totality here for 3+ minutes of total darkness. An amazing time, and hopefully we'll get a clear view of it. This area, the Hill Country, has been preparing for this for the better part of the year, and they didn't wait until Eclipse Day to celebrate. Over the last couple of days here at the Eclipse Festival, we've seen music, dancing, we've had games, we've had calf roping, a Lone Star welcome to the eclipse as it starts its U.S. journey here in Texas, moves all the way through Maine, 15 states, more than 31 million people in line to see totality. But again, there's a lot of concern over the forecast. We're going to keep watching things here. Hopefully, again, it breaks up by this afternoon and we get that good glimpse of history. That's the latest from here in Junction, Texas. I'm Jay Gray. Now back to you.
All right, Jay Gray in Texas. The State Office of Emergency Management has some tips for you, reminding people to be prepared ahead of the eclipse, which is in just a couple hours now. Keep your eyes protected. Do not look at the sun without certified eclipse glasses. Regular sunglasses do not work. Also allow for plenty of extra travel time. Ben mentioned that the Adirondack Northway is bumper to bumper now for multiple exits. Route 28, not too bad as of yet, but may likely get there soon. So be prepared to be in heavy traffic for a while, and keep up with travel conditions on 511ny.org, as well as our traffic tracker here in the studio. Only park in designated areas and do not stop to view the eclipse while on roadways. Only call 911 if you have an emergency. Being stuck in traffic does not constitute an emergency. And they are reminding folks to avoid the backcountry because muddy conditions and icy trails in the backcountry and high peaks will be too dangerous to view the eclipse. If you're unable to make it outside but you still want to catch this historic event, we've got you covered. Both NBC and CBS will have live coverage of the total solar eclipse beginning at 2 o'clock this afternoon. Both networks will have correspondents across the nation tracking the eclipse, including the largest watch parties in the nation, one of the largest watch parties, I should say, at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. And on WKTV.com, we have a full section dedicated to the total solar eclipse. We have the path of totality, locations of area watch parties, and safety information for you. We'll have more on the big eclipse coming up at the bottom of the hour.